Hi, I'm Chris McNulty, Chief Technology Officer here at Cryptzone and a Microsoft SharePoint MVP. Today I'm talking to you in this Chalk Talk about the value of Cryptzone solutions for Office 365. Over the past decade, many organizations I've worked with have been tremendously successful harnessing the power of SharePoint for on-premises collaboration with their enterprise users. The advantage of the cloud is we can now take those same capabilities and extend them seamlessly to users beyond the realms of our firewall, anywhere in the world that they can get to an internet connection. The challenge is, how do we assure that the same level, though, of content management, control, and compliance, which are tremendously essential to on-premises security, are maintained in the cloud? The good news is, with Cryptzone solutions, we have a seamless way for you to do the same sorts of things in the cloud that you've always been able to do on premises. Let's take a look at how. If you're like most of the organizations I've been working with, about 70% of you or more are already using SharePoint on premises. So let's take a look at where that might look like in a typical deployment. You may have SharePoint running here. You have enterprise users connected to traditional networks or VPN networks able to connect directly over to those environments. We all know about the cloud. In Office 365, a shared service delivered by Microsoft offers us the power to take that somewhere else. One of the big somewhere else's we have with our users, we like our enterprise users, is other people. Third parties, customers, partners, suppliers. We like them too, but they live outside, so they're wearing a hat. They kind of live beyond our traditional realms. The advantage of Office 365 is these users, in theory, can all get to our content there. Now, it's worth remembering that the power of Office 365 is not just that it contains inside of it the SharePoint capabilities, but it's Microsoft's home of innovation. So when we're looking at the capabilities, we have SharePoint out there. We also get Exchange, Yammer, Link, Business Intelligence. All of the things that Microsoft is innovating, and there's a huge budget to R&D, is all going up here, and it's going to Office 365 first. And we have the ability now to be able to connect these users up. Traditionally, a lot of organizations have come to us for Security Sheriff. Security Sheriff, also living on premises, provides the ability to monitor and shape and control enterprises' uses of content that's hosted on SharePoint, as well as file shares and traditional on-premises social tools. I talk to many CIOs who want to know what's happening with the cloud. They want to embrace the cloud. But the concerns they have is they've had a hard enough time just figuring out how to establish the right controls on premises. They don't want to go back to the completely unstructured nature of the cloud. Where are the sites? What are users doing? Where are people coming from? One of the big concerns also is, because you're on the internet, everyone can get there. And that includes these people. Bad actors. There are more risks out there in the public internet than ever before. I want to put contents there. And I want to be participating in that transformation as I take enterprise content, which traditionally only an enterprise user could get to, and have the ability to, in a controlled manner, allow my content to be shared seamlessly with other users as well as these users wherever they go in the internet. The genius of Security Sheriff is that it takes 5 core actions for what's happening in real time. So as content is being added on premises or in the cloud, the first thing that we're doing is we are inspecting it. We're looking in real time out of the box at over 600 policies to see what's happening in this content. At the core, we believe that what's in that document is a better predictor for how I want to secure it. Maybe there's a social security number in it. Perhaps it looks like a contract. Just because someone says that something belongs in a public document area doesn't mean that you want them to get access to that. We know from stats that the cost of the average data breach to an organization is over $4.3 million. We don't want this to be a $4.3 million cost to your organization. So we're scanning that document, taking a look to see what might be inside of it. Then we can go through and add tags to that document, looking at metadata, so that we know how to classify that document appropriately. This document is publicly available. This document is highly confidential. This document looks like it has intellectual property in it, or it belongs to a project that we're not ready to disclose with the world. All of those things we can look at in real time with our tags. From there, it becomes a question of what kind of policies do you want to enable? Maybe I just want to track this document in a report. Maybe I want to secure that document using a combination of permissions and encryption to make sure that I have more finely grained control over what someone could do with that document. And finally, I may want to trigger additional actions. My drawing of a gear is not very good. There's a reason I work in technology instead of art, but that's control. So the ability to inspect a document, classify it, track it, secure it, and process it is fundamental to how Security Sheriff works. And Security Sheriff for Office 365 is very simple. You can install it on premises and simultaneously have the same level of control for your content that lives here on premises or in the cloud. Likewise, you may be an organization that is ready to move and fully embrace a cloud environment. There may no longer be a need for you to have on-premises content. That's fine too. We can install Security Sheriff for Office 365 here using the power of Microsoft Azure, as well as Amazon and other registered cloud providers, to be able to allow that same level of control. All of the things, all of your policies can extend seamlessly from on-premises to the cloud without further modification. Hi, we've talked about how Security Sheriff for Office 365 can secure your enterprise content on premises and in the cloud. Let's take a quick look at how. Here's an Office 365 site hosted by Microsoft. And like most 365 sites, we have a document area. Users can come here, and with the power of Office 365, we can create a new document. And when this document comes up, I can type into it, "This is not my SSN." Now, in a public area, I probably don't want users creating Office Social Security numbers in their documents. Let's take a quick look at how Sheriff is configured to help trap for that. So within Security Sheriff, I have the idea of assets. Assets are collections of targets. They may be a single SharePoint site or a group of SharePoint sites, Office 365 content, or OneDrive locations. And right here, I've already defined this Hurricane Systems asset as being not the entire 365 tenant, but one site, in particular one library on that site, the one that we're just working with. I've also defined policies, where I'm looking behind the scenes to figure out, I want to apply privacy here. And if I edit the policy, I'll see I'm looking at all of the checkpoints that are comprised within general privacy. I want to apply that to the content that's in this asset. And if I wanted to see further about the checkpoints, I can come here and edit that and see, for example, I'm interested in credit card numbers. Credit card numbers are usually a problem within PII. Here's the particular test. And if you chose to, you could continue to customize what we shipped out of the box by writing your own checkpoints using VBA, regular expressions, or any other standard language. Behind the scenes, Sheriff is taking a look at all of that stuff and looking at the history of what I can figure out. So the results viewer here sees all the assets that I know about, and I can look at Office 365 and get a full list of the documents that have been picked up there. I can also, if I've chosen to, in policy, turn tracking on. So I can see the history of all the documents that have been picked up out there in my environment. Now, there are a number of ways I may want to figure that out. Administratively, I can use Sheriff's admin tools, but at the public side, a user could come here, and because I'm using metadata, I have the ability to look in real time and see what files are out there, did they pass or fail. And here I can see a file that was rejected a few minutes ago, and when I drill into it, it's going to show me the two reasons why. This looks like it has a Social Security number on the page. And if I drill into it further, it will show me exactly what it found. So that's, in a nutshell, the core of how Sheriff can help identify sensitive content. With further policy changes, I can go in and then say, I want to change the security of this document. So if a privacy checkpoint fails, I can take further steps, saying I want to remove existing permissions, turn on encryption, change the permissions on that document, the kinds of things that I may want to fully automate. Rather than having an administrator read the document every time, Sheriff can automate the application of governance policies uniformly across on-premises and the cloud. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll agree with me that Cryptzone's commitment to solutions for cybersecurity, access control, content management, and compliance are here to help assure that you and your enterprise can enjoy the same bright future that we've been talking about for a long time. I can't wait to see where the future brings us, and I hope you'll let Cryptzone be a partner on your journey. Thank you.